Consideration of the Loch Raven High School addition. Mr. Jansen.
Thank you, Madam President. I move that the board's FY 2009 state and capital budget request with respect to the Loch Raven High School addition adopted by the board on February 14th, 2008 be rescinded, and that the board's FY 2009 state and capital budget be amended to remove the request for the addition. And Madam Chairman, I might note that because this is a rescind, it requires a 2/3 affirmative vote to carry this.
And we are now open for discussion. I'd like to, because everyone knows I like to quote, I'd like to begin the discussion with a quote from a Supreme Court Justice, Felix Frankfurter, who once said, "Wisdom comes so seldom, we shouldn't reject it because it comes late." And we may be coming to this discussion late, but if we come to it and seek wisdom, I don't think we're heading in the wrong direction. Ms. O'Hare?
I rewatched the board meeting of February where the decision to support this addition was made, and it was very painful to watch. And it didn't seem as if it was something that anybody really wanted to do. However, I would like to say that the Baltimore County School Board never put the addition out there to begin with. It was never our idea. It came from county government. If you go back and look at our original school budget last year, you'll see we had no addition in there. What we've been asking for, and what I've always thought we needed, because I figured we didn't spend all that money on the DeJong report for no reason, and at the time there weren't 400 seats at Kenwood, so whatever was in the paper today was inaccurate with regard to the numbers. You know, there was a letter to the editor that had some inaccuracies. But that aside, the DeJong report never called only for a Northeast High School anyway. It called for a central Northeast High School. And I think if we're really wise, we're going to take a big, broad look at the areas where development is really taking place. And that would be the Southeast, the Northeast, and the North County, and even in the established areas in Towson. And, you know, have a comprehensive overview and not try to, like, separate this out from that. I think that we need to stop taking the cheap, quick fix for these buildings and start thinking about what the kids need, what the teachers need.
Is there anyone wishes to state anything further?
Yes, I'd like to.
Mr. Parker and Ms. Harris, I think.
I think it's very wise when one is able to correct some action that they had taken. I don't think it's demeaning, and I don't think it shows any weakness. In fact, I think it shows strength. But what we must do, I think this situation that we have found ourselves in says that there is something wrong that we need to fix. And I think that the new format for the organization of our board meetings will put us one step closer to be able to do that. Because I feel that this board needs more time amongst itself to be able to discuss in depth some of these issues that come to us. So I'm going to support the motion that's on the table, but I think it behooves us to make sure that we learn the lessons that this has taught us and that we fix the situation so this will never happen again.
Ms. Harris and then Mr. Hines.
Thank you. Mr. Parker, I agree with you that we have made a mistake, and probably because we thought it was the efficient way to do it, because we were given with the choice of either add on or it's not going to happen. We know we're not going to get a school this year, and just because that's the more fiscally sound answer this year doesn't mean that over the next several years, it will end up having been the best choice, because then we know, as Mr. Jansen said, we will have warehoused more kids. And when we've just honored Loch Raven for being one of our top schools, and now the one school that isn't warehoused, like many of our other ones that we have to and we need to resolve, why should we put them in that same category? I think that's improper. And if we have to wait for the proper solution for another year or so, then so be it. But I think we have learned our lesson that we can't take the easier choice or the only choice available at the time. We're just going to have to do it right when we do it. So, thank you.
And Mr. Hines.
I think the very fundamental problem that we have is we have a very aging infrastructure. And in business, they always teach you, anytime you're spending more than 50% of your dollars toward maintenance and repair, it's time to break it and start something new. The whole air conditioning situation would be a heck of a lot cheaper if it was going into new construction as opposed to old construction. I say all that to say this: we have to take a far more strategic approach to how we look at our system. We are confined today by a 2-year budget process, and that makes your window very narrow. But we as a board, and I think the structure we're putting together is going to allow us to step back from that and build a strategic plan that will incorporate the necessity of a 2-year budget process. But we will have our structure laid out. We'll have our plan laid out. I would love to see us get to a situation, and just starting with the high schools as an example, and we rotate. We tear one down one year, build another one. Tear one down, build another one. I would love to see us get to that point. I really would. You look at baseball teams or athletic stadium, what do? They take the parking lot, build a school on top of the parking lot, and then what do they do to the school? Make it the parking lot. We don't think strategically enough like that. I think this new structure that you are giving us the leadership to unveil is going to allow us to do that. And this is not a criticism. I mean, we can all be quarterbacks looking behind the scene, but it's just a reality of what we're into today.
One more comment and no more comment.
Call the question.
Call a question. All in favor of the motion to rescind that we have on the table? Please indicate, since we need 8 votes, I would like to be able to actually count. 9, 10, I count 10 hands. The motion carries. Thank you very much.